Alright, so you're saying some very, interesting things, man. And you elaborating on a lot of things that people need to hear. Especially our people need to hear this. Not just our people, but just people in general who want to deal with farming and want to go in that direction of doing organicness. This is very important. Let me ask you this. Okay, so this do you think the children of Israel will be able to come together with our different doctrines, to formulate a declaration amongst us to where we will eventually be recognized as a nation that has our own farming, that has our own, medical institutions, our own school institutions. Do you think this can happen? For those that want to come together as Hebrew Israelites, do you think this can happen?
Well, first of all, I think it's prophetic that it does happen that we all come together because the first part of the resurrection is the great awakening. It's a dreadful awakening, and when you talk about a dreadful awakening, it means that you're like frightened to realize who you are.
Yeah.
So all people been frightened up. So that's the first section of it,
Yeah.
And the first part in terms of that, so everyone is awake. Look, I'm really Israel. Like this Bible is my story. This is who I am.
Yeah.
That my father is David. My father is Jacob. So waking up and now, when you begin to look beyond just the dreadful awakening, it's now you begin to, because first there was an identity crisis. So we got past the identity crisis, realizing who we are, and now we had to get into some redemptive knowledge. And these are some of the things that our spiritual leader who took us to Israel back then, Benjamin, he elaborated quite a bit on the need of redemptive knowledge. And this redemptive knowledge takes us into the cycle of a constant ascension, where all people are ascending and evolving. So I'm saying no, beyond the recognizing who we are, and when we say doctrines, because people think religion when you say the word doctrine. I think the common consensus we need to be about is life. So when we are united on life and life principles, that takes us outside of the realm of differences, because it's, at the end of the day there are only two forces vying for the force of two forces vying for men on this planet, vying for the lives of men and women, and it's either life or death. It's good or evil. So when you look at it from a life-enhancing perspective, we all, whether we're in the same place or not, whether we may have the concept of the holy day falling in this day or not, or whether Abraham was born in this day, that day, beyond the differences that you may see, because at the end of the day, these are historical information. A lot of what people come up with as doctrinal positions, it's historical information. And at the end of the day, you'll eventually come to truth, because truth has no master, truth defends itself. So I see there's no need for us as brothers and sisters as children of Israel to be separated by any means, because we are on the same path. We are on the same path, and the same path we are is a path of life. And think about life in the perspective of what it is that we're supposed to be doing. Why were we created? Why were we born? And if we were born to be examples of life and living, that means that we're supposed to be building redemptive institutions that enhance life. Whether it's agricultural institutions, technical institutions, food industry, whatever it is, that's supposed to be life enhancing. And then you look forward into what do we want the future world to look like. And when we stop and look at it, every one of us is going to agree. We're going to agree. Because everyone wants this kind of utopian type of thing, but at the end of the day, everybody wants to see a sustainable system where Yah is at the center of it. And Yah has to be in control. So if Yah is at the center, then you're going to find the differences become less and less and almost insignificant. Because we want to create life-enhancing institutions that are going to provide living systems, or we call it an environment for the Yah species for the future, or I say for the species of godly people. For the future, we say Yah quite a bit because we use the African ancient Hebrew name of the creator, so we say Yah or Yahweh. So you're going to hear me say that quite a bit. And so we want to create an environment now where Yah species can exist, where we can do the things of Yah, that we can embrace our culture, celebrate our culture. And this thing now, out of peace and love, this can only expand. This consciousness can only expand. And as people are evolving, they're going to evolve out of the differences. Because on one vibration level, you might find a little finger point, he don't do this, she don't do that, but then when you begin to look a bit higher, you're looking at, okay, what am I supposed to do? What am I created? And you're created to be, to be a living example of life, and you have to get the people who are about life. And I say this beyond just the Hebrew Israelite community. I say this all the way into the Rastafarian community. Even some people who may come from Christian backgrounds and want that different religious doctrines and all of that. People have to evolve. And the charge we were given as Israel, as ancient African Israel, our charge was to be a light onto the world, to be an example. It doesn't mean that it's just us and no one else is going to survive. It doesn't mean that this is just about us. Are we better than anyone else? It means we have a bigger job to do. We have a big responsibility to get this together. And if we look at it now as a responsibility, what's our responsibility? Our responsibility are to create sacred living systems. So whether you believe someone believed that the Passover falls on this day or that day, at the end of the day, we need to create these sacred living systems, and that we have to agree on. That we are, and so then, if we're not selling booze and selling drugs to our community, if we're not giving our people food that's killing them, if we're not, creating the institutions, the fast food businesses that kill our people and take them to the big pharmacies, we can't be involved in that anymore, and we cannot put our hands there anymore. So our worship, which in Hebrew the word is avodah. Avodah, the word for worship, means to work. So our works need to be in spirit and truth. So every day we work our worship. So when we get up in the morning to when we go to bed at night, we are worshiping. So our worship needs to be in alignment with the Creator. Our worship needs to be working for the Creator. And if you're working for the Creator, there's no disagreement in that. It's like absolutely zero disagreement, because we agree on one thing, that we want to do what is right in the sight of the Creator, and we're not here to point fingers at each other. He doing this, she doing that, or he said this, he said that. That's really stuff on a lower vibrational frequency, and we cannot continue to allow ourselves to dwell in the first stage of the resurrection, which is just the dreadful awakening, because now we wake up and we're ready to fight. Because we've been put to sleep. In Ezekiel 37, and he talks about these bones. Can these bones live? We say, yes, absolutely, we are living. Yes, we are alive now. We up on our feet. So can these bones live? And the first thing is that your bones, when you wake up, man, you realize, I was in the grave, I was in America, I was in hell. When you wake up, you realize, man, I was in hell. And now you started getting it together. Now you're going to go through the stages. And while you're waking up and become real, some guys are going to become real convicted in the first thing that you hear. And you be convicted in that, so then you find yourself still fighting that. We realize, okay, the fight is not with each other. We shouldn't even be thinking about fighting with each other. It's not a conversation. Why should we fight because we have slightly different opinions of who we are, Israel? That's a non-factor. Let's go and work for life. Let's go worship Yah together. Let's go work for the Creator together. Let's go build the institutions of life. Let's manifest the Creator's idea so that other people can see and this light can shine. So it's for me, the job is a much bigger job that we have to do, and the more we get our hands in, really hold this thing by the handle and take hold of who we are, what our responsibilities are, we're going to see that we don't have a lot of time for disagreement. As a matter of fact, we have no time. As a matter of fact, we need to move real fast and get it together and figure out how we can get together to do what we got to do, because we have a lot of work to do. This wicked man, this evil genius is busy every single day, and he's not busy disagreeing. They're not busy disagreeing with each other. They're busy agreeing on how they're going to kill us. Through the food system, they're busy agreeing how they're going to give us more chemicals. They're busy agreeing how they're going to fool us with the media. They're busy agreeing on how they're going to keep us divided and keep us separated from each other. When our strength is our unity. So I think so when I first answered the question and I said that this thing is prophetic, saying it's prophetic is not a small statement, because how do the prophecies come true? Because somebody get up and do it. How do the words of the Bible come to life? How do they take on flesh? We have to decide. It's time. Prophecies get fulfilled, we decide it's time.
Bring the book to life.
Yeah, so I'm saying to all my brothers out there, African Hebrew Israelites, different walks of life, brothers and sisters out there, and I extend this out to the wider communities of our people. It's time for us to come together. The doctrinal differences, these some religions and some of the initial things that we found out about ourselves when we woke up. When you got woke and you woke up, that was the vehicle you jumped in. But the vehicle is to take you to a destination. And I say it's a spiritual elevational destination. So when you get to that destination, you got to get out of the car. You can't stay in the car. Get out of the car, get out of the car. And as I'm saying, you have to get out of the car so we can get together on this higher spiritual frequency. And when we get together here, all the other stuff, man, no matter, because I want what's best for your child, you want what's best for my child. It's like that. We respect each other's wives, we respect each other's children, we look out for each other, cover your brother's back. The basic stuff we need to do. And that's what time it is. And when we can get the basic stuff together, we can move on, we can do anything. We can build anything. I've seen other cultures get together and build and do what they got to do. In the meantime, all people have been really good at staying separated. They've been really good at staying separated. And then I say, time enough, let's move these blocks out of the way. Let's move these little stumbling blocks. They're insignificant. Get rid of them. We got a bigger job to do. We got work to do. So let's get busy. Let's get together and let's get busy, man.
That's real. One thing that you said that was important, man. We need to, come together on life principles. These life principles. Letting this doctrine keep us divided and not letting us advance forward as a nation is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Let me ask you this before we move on to the music and we wrap this up. Because I definitely want them to know about your music. This Veggie, man, they don't know about it. They know, people know. But so now let me ask you this: what is 3 main things that a nation needs to be self-reliant? To be a self-reliant nation, what are 3 main things that a nation needs?
Well, right at the top, I see you gotta control the food source.
Okay.
And elaborate a little bit on each one, but also you gotta control the food source.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have to control your educational system.
Okay.
So and because you gotta control what the people are eating and the concept of food. Because when you lock in the whole concept of food, tied into that is regenerative health and everything, and healthy lifestyles and all of that. And with your educational system, we are creating or developing the minds we want for the future to build the world that we want. And I would say third, we have to have builders. We have to have builders, technical and otherwise. But we have to have builders, we need engineers, we need guys with skills. So when you have people with different skills, and when I say builders, not building for shelter, for having homes. Yes, we need food. We need food, clothes, shelter. But I tie in the building into the technical side of it, including guys who are going to technical builders, even onto the ones who are going to make our clothes and all of that. Because sometimes, guys, are food, clothes, and shelter, but it's more than food, clothes, and shelter. You have to have the education in there. Yeah, you have to have the education in this. I would wrap the clothes and shelter into one category, and food is paramount. So we got to control that.
Okay.
We need clean food and water sources, and like I said, within the food systems now is a regenerative health component. So the regenerative health and food kind of goes together. And within the technical minds, whether builders, seamstresses, engineers, whatever, we need to have that technical set locked in, and then we got to teach the children everything we know.
Yeah, that's well answered. The food, we like you said, that can be wrapped up together with food, clothes, and all of that. And then the second thing would be education. That's important. We have to be able to teach ourselves and teach our children, and then like you said, the third thing would be engineers and architects, so we can develop these things, so we can put it on paper, bring it to life, execute it, and those things all will coexist and make a nation. Let's go, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. We got to.
Yeah, that's dope.